It says that these are the people that God appointed. These are the people that God made in charge of it, with the fact that it went through what do you call a gyro, went through a gyro and stuff like that. And the gyro was, you saw the magic parts of the gyro and stuff like that. To understand that this is the path that God gave it to you. Why He gave me this land and why you over here and I'm over here, that's not my problem. Go talk to God about that. As far as we're concerned, this is what's going to be. And therefore, this has the power that has it. While appointed people would talk like that, you wouldn't give them that power. You wouldn't. That's why you had to have it, this thing over here, even though it's the same people. Okay, he goes into it, and says Eila Kruye Ho'eda, and it's spelled Kriye Ho'eda. So I forgot who makes the thing there, and they didn't choose that Kriye Ho'eda is to show that they were among them were Rishoyim. Now Shlomo ben Turishadoi, we know from the Gemara that he was. What do you call it? The Litza ben Shteyer, the question of where Rashi got it from. But Rashi says that Litza ben Shteyer was part of the Adas Kairach, and Shlomo ben Turishadoi is Zimri. So that the Gemara says is Zimri. So therefore they were Rishoyim. And because they were Rishoyim, we took away the Kruye Ha'eda, which somehow gives them that feeling. Okay, so it seems from what we just said that Kruye is a bigger title, right? So, but
they were son then.
I don't
they were son then, only afterwards.
Yeah, or whatever you want, however you want to put it. It's a good point, because I'm going to hear the question in a second here. So you have that. The child is to go to Dosim Vaviram. They will Rishoyim, right? I don't think there's any doubt that Dosim Vaviram will Rishoyim, right? Obviously, it's not so posh that when they became Rishoyim, because Rashi brings down between in the Das Kairach that Oile Rosha, Oile Shchenov, so the Rosha is Kairach, and the Shchenov is Dosim Vaviram. So obviously they're not Rishoyim. I mean, whatever it is, they're friends of Rishoyim, whatever it is. Okay, good, whatever you want to call it. But let's say what it says over there in Parshas Pinchas. What's it say over there? Reuven b'chol Yisrael, Eila mishpachos Reuveni, Nei pamei Eluyav Nemuyav, v'Dosim v'Aviram, Hu Dosim v'Aviram, Kruye Ho'eda, spelled Kruye, red Kruye. And here you're telling me it's Kruye, but it's spelled Kruye, and you read it Kruye. So which was the better ones? I mean, l'chayra. So you tell me the ksiv is worse than the thing. It's in the beginning of Pinchas, in the evaluated counting. So I don't know. I mean, but that's something to think about. Like it seems to be that there, this full spelling is kriye. It's a kriye and a ksiv, the same like here, but it's read kriye. And here it's spelled kriye, and we read it kriye. So the shadow is what's shot in that. Okay. Thank you. Now, this is some theory, what I'm talking about. I have no idea. You know, right now it seems to be a tremendousness, what we're going into, that all the numbers came out at least equal to 10, but except for 2 times, and one in this time, only one that gave you 50, which was God, and 130 in the second counting, everybody ended up exactly to 100. Okay. What's the odds of that? I don't even know what you want to call the odds. I mean, it just the metzias don't make sense. Right, so how does that happen? I don't know if this is true, but this is what I think is. You see, when they counted the Bechorim, they actually had 273 extra. So they do have singles, right? So what happened to all the singles? So it could be that, when you say there's a division, or let's go, what he called, how many behemoths do you have? Well, he gave for Maisa behemoth, he gave 10 behemoths last year, right? So that means he has 90 left, right? No, he doesn't. He has 99 left. How do you get 99 left and giving away 10? Because he had 100 and 109. And the first 90, the first 100, he's got to give away one from each. For the last 9, he doesn't give any. So therefore, he gave away. So he has the same thing. He's 99, and he gave away 10. And he still had 100, right? The same. So it's the same idea that the first time, for whatever reason, less than 50 is not counted. In other words, if you had 53, you counted it as 50. What happens with the cheshbon? Why do you think if there's any specialties in the cheshbon? Maybe there isn't. I don't know. That's why I can't answer you. But they get in. It's called the gemaisa. They're part of Klal Yisrael. They're part of everything there. And the second time it would be 30. Now, why? I can't answer you. But that would do it. Then it makes sense. In other words, that most of them were closer to 100. That was the thing over there. So he's gone 50 is divided. So you had anything over 50 was to the 100. Anything under 50 was to the 50. So that only happened once. But that's no kasha ready because that's pretty even, So I have no idea if that's true or not, but I think it makes sense though. Then talks about Shimon. It says the Shimon has an extra word that all the rest don't have. He has the word pekudov. The others don't have that word pekudov. Everything else they have the same, exactly the same. But that one they don't. They have the extra pekudov. Again, in Pinchas, Shimon is the only one that doesn't have the word of Pikudehem, Lifkudehem, Bifkudehem, whatever it is, but Pikudehem doesn't have that. It just says in Metzias, Bnei Shimon, they had Ve'edlu B'Shvish HaShemayni, Shnayim V'Esem Aleph from Asoyim, period, at 22,000, period, and 200, period. Doesn't tell you that's their count, that's what he called. All the rest of them says, when they Leov, what do you call him? Where is it? They know the God. Elam Mishpresh Bnei God Lif Kudehem Aboim Elav Chamesh Meis. So there's a word Kudehem. I think this is what it means. And maybe it'll answer another kasha we have. Okay. That the Rebbeinu Shalom make Klal Yisrael, there are 12 Shvatim. Okay. And I assume the numbers of the Shvatim are also decreed by Kodesh Baruch Hu. I mean, stuff like that. And each Shevet has its own tafkid. What they are, I can't tell you. I don't know, but some we do know. Shimon was the Melamdi Tanoikis. Yisachar was the Dayonim. Zvulun was philanthropist, if you want to call it that. Yehuda was Malchus. Levi was what he called Ligan Shel Melech. Okay, now the rest of them, I don't know. But Klal Yisrael needs everybody. Like right now, the joke, who's the Bnei Yerushalayim? Those are the Arabs, you understand? Yerushalayim, because they're bricklayers. You don't talk about Jewish bricklayers, so they're all Arabs. Okay, now what's wrong with being a bricklayer? And we're going to build a base of Mikdash. I don't think we're putting down any Arabs over there to build a base of Mikdash, right? It's going to be us going to go build a base of Mikdash. We're going to cut the stones. We're going to cut the what he called, or whatever. If it's come down in a Shemaim, so for sure we don't need them. But the mice is there. the Klal Yisrael is self-independent. We have workers that do that for a living too. Okay? So therefore, what's wrong with it? So some people have to do that. You want to call blue-collar workers. So you want to call this the last three shvatim. Is that like you have God is the standing army? So that seems to be that they know that they were the standing army of Klal Yisrael, but they were always in the army. So that was good. But what about the other three? The other masters called Amachnes. They could be whatever they did, whatever they needed to do, they had to do. Then you had Malachim. What do I mean by Malachim? Find by a girl we have this halacha. What does that mean? You can't make a melech from a girl. Now, obviously the king himself, we can't make a melech. Okay. And it's very interesting, you know. From a goyish mother, from a giyuris, it could be, right? It's not from the whole malchus priest David is from that. So whether it is from a giyuris. But I'm not even talking about David HaMelech, because by then it was 3 generations later. About Tomar Rechavam, right? He was Nama Amoinis, so therefore you have what do you call it? The fact that there's a giyuris mother doesn't make possible you from being a king. But if you're a ger, you are possible for being a king. You can't be a king. Not only can't you be a king, you can't be in charge of anything that has power over a yid. There's by being a dayan, maybe even a rabbi. Not a guy paskin shaylas, that he can be. A rabbi, meaning supposedly the rabbi has that power, supposedly, you know. You do this, you do that. I can't tell a yid what to do. We have many kings, made more things out by Mori Baruch, that they say that he's able to be, because Bimay Yisrael, right? But to be the king, the emissary king, he has to be of Yisrael. But here, it's a strange thing. There, to be the emissary king, you have Avim Yisrael, but you don't need Imam Yisrael. To be a guy who what do you call it, who has power over something, like, you know, it's the what would you call him, the guy who does the water, he checks your electricity, what do they call him? The guy checks your electricity. So he can shut your electricity off, right? He has power. That's a melech. A ger cannot be melech over a yid. Can't be the gas company. Can't be the electric company. Can't be whatever it is. Why? Because it's a power over a yid that I can decide he doesn't cut it. That's it. So you need malachim. So there's many malachim that you need. That's the point. That you have at least Imam Yisrael you need for that. And this stuff. And that was Mori Baruch, that he had his mother was Shmuel's daughter. So therefore he was able to be that thing there. But his father was a ger. But his father was a goy. His father ultimately became a ger, but his father was a goy. He has no relationships to his father. His father gave him the matane. They taught him what to do to give over the money to Mori. Rabbi was upset. Okay. So there you need maybe a whole tribe of that, because you need that type of management. You have managers like that. So whatever it is, so there's a number that since they're supposed to be the Malamdi Tanaikis of Shimon, right? So the number that they had, they're the third largest Shefet that we have. In other words, the biggest is Yehuda, then Dan, and then Shimon. So it's the third largest Shefet at this time. So therefore, that's what you need for the Malamdi Tanaikis, right? You need a certain proportion, certain things for Gans Klal Yisrael. And they had a job. and what he called, and the two teachers of Kal Yisrael, his Rebbeinu made for whatever he made him, were the two Kanoim of Kal Yisrael, Shimon and Levi. And the thing that that's Levi, and he's the Melamdi Tanaikis. Like, you want a softer person and stuff like that? No, I want somebody that shows that he cares. That's what I want in the thing there. Therefore, that's what we're the Melamdi Tanaikis. Okay. God, I said, has Chamishim. Okay, then he goes through all the Shvatim, and in the end he comes out to what's the total? Oh, no, before one more thing. Yeah, Naphtali gets counted last here. Everywhere else we know, when we count the Shvatim, Osher is counted. Naphtali, Naphtali is counted last, like Osher is counted before. Oh, you're right. Okay, there's nothing there. Yeah. So why is Naphtali counted last? He's older. That's the way I wanted to ask you. Right? It's done Naphtali, God Asher. Right? So Naphtali is even older than God. So why is he? Asher is before God. So God moves out and he gets counted with Reuven, Shimon, and God. So he's out of the the three of the Bnei Yashvat of Shvachis. Belamaisi should be done Naphtali and Asher. So why is it that way? So I tell you that it's what it makes is the reason that Asher got born is because of Naphtali. In other words, when did Leah give over Zilpah to Ya'akov Avinu? When she was pregnant, when she saw that Bilhah was pregnant with Naphtali. Right? Now that's the thing there. You can't learn that she gave him over first when he was born, because after that we don't have enough years. They were born in 7 years. So 11 Shvat in 7 years don't work one right after the other one. Not enough months. But I'm saying, if you learn that they saw that she was pregnant, okay, so therefore I better do something about it. So she went and she gave her son over. So therefore, who caused Naphtali, Asher to be born? Naphtali. So like it's, we give him responsibility. You cause him to be born, you're responsible for him. Okay, so you got to take care of him. Something like that. So he comes last. He's protecting him. Something like that. Anyway, they come up with the total of 603,000, right, and 50. And that's the counting of Klal Yisrael. Okay. Tells you again, they didn't count the Levium here because they didn't want them dying with because of the Chet HaMeraglim. So therefore, they were not counted in Klal Yisrael. Okay. Okay, they didn't still explain how they do it. He goes into counting the machnes now. And the machnes, okay, you got to tell me who's the machne. Why is it necessary to tell me who the numbers are? I don't know. We'll see that in a minute. But let's see, first of all, even in telling me the machnes. The first one is Machne Yehuda, right? So when you want to say, let's take a different one. Let's take Reuven, Machne Reuven, right? So he tells you its number, V'achreinin Alav, right? And Alav Mate Shimon, Mate God, right? This and this. That's what it should be. Let's see what it says by Yehuda. It says, V'achreinin Alav Mate Yisachar, Mate Zvulun. There's no vav. Why is there no vav? So I think what it means is that you would think and, so it's more choshev. You take the one is older, one is this, one is that. When it comes to Torah and the supporters of Torah, they're equal. So he tells you there's no and here. They both are part of what he called. So it's not and. So that's important. It's all the chivas of the support of Tech and whatever it means. And I think and then he counts each machne with the same numbers, and he adds the machnes together. Eile pkude ibn kol hapkudim lema. Eile pkude ibn Yisrael beis havaisim kol pkude hamachnes, right? Are the same number, 603,050, whatever, and 350, whatever it is. 650. Get the wrong number. 750. No, the wrong gun I'm reading. 500. Okay, so you have so why you have to repeat that for? We also know how to add. I mean, you add up to different shvatim, and then you'll end up to this number, this number, this number, and you know the totals are going to be the same because you didn't. So I want to time it just like we said. There is a cheshbin in Klal Yisrael, the pkudim. So each machne also has to have this kind of a balance between one shevet and the other shevet. I run into problems, not really problems, it just shows that there will be more about the machne Efraim. Right now it's called machne Efraim, right? And therefore, let's see the numbers. You have machne Efraim. Is it machne Efraim? He has 40,500, right? Then he has Menashe, which is 32,200, and then the Nata Binyamin, okay, which is again 35,400. Now, we know the bracha the Ben Shem gave, what Ya'akov Avinu gave to Yosef. Yisimcha Elokim ki Efraim v'chem Menashe. Yosem is Efraim l'fnei Menashe, right? Excuse me. So you think that there's a Maida Efraim before Menashe. In other words, and obviously there is, because he put Efraim before Menashe and yet he doesn't stay that way. You have this way goes through the whole Torah, except when it lands up in the Matis Masse. So, and then we'll go to Pinchas. Let's go first to Masse. Vaydav Hashem Moshe Lema, Eili Shmois HaNoshim Shenicha L'Slochem HaSoret. The new Nesiim, Parshas Masei. What it says, L'vnei Yosef, L'mate b'nei Menashe, Nosi, Haniyel ben Ephod, L'mate b'nei Efraim, Nosi Gmur ben Shifton. Who's first? Menashe. Let's go to the counting, actually in Parshas Pinchas, when he's actually counting them. Okay, it says over here, Bnei Yosef mishpachosam Menashe ve'Efraim. Bnei Menashe l'moch mishmach Menachi, and then you're going to finish them. Eilu bnei Ephraim mishpachosam. Again, Menashe before Ephraim. So we don't always put Ephraim before Menashe. So it depends on the Shevet. And obviously over there we're talking already 58,000 or something like that. Menashe really became a big Shevet, and Ephraim was a little Shevet. It just means that somehow Ephraim is, it's not that Ephraim is bigger, or what do you call it? There's two ways of learning it. You should be like Ephraim and Menashe. What does that mean? You should be like number one and number two. Let's assume that that's what it means. Like, is the Shaykh such a bracha? You say, be like number one. Where's number two coming? Why do you say that for? So, God in Ephraim and Menashe, we could possibly say a reason that Ephraim and Menashe were the only two that they were not in Eretz Yisrael. They were born in Chutz La'aretz, in Mitzrayim, and they grew up to be Shiftei Koh. So therefore, everyone has that potential. We're giving it to everybody the bracha. These two guys made it. You should make it also. Like, one is bigger than the other. I'm not talking about who you are either. You know, you could be bigger than the other one or smaller than the other one, but you're living up to your potential. That's all we care about. That's a simple pshat. Another pshat you can say is, but we want, from Klal Yisrael, we want the Kishron of Ephraim, which is, obviously, you can go way up, but let's take a look at what the Shoyim he produced. He produces Yerav ben Nevat, and he produces Achav. That means he who brought in the Baal into Klal Yisrael, and Yerav ben Nevat who brought in the whole concept of Eidazot into Klal Yisrael. So I mean, you're talking about these guys who are traders, or whatever you want to call them, about to clear them to Klal Yisrael. So there's something wrong with them, right? So, but on the other hand, he has Yeshua on the other side, right? So that's the case. They're two extremes. On the other hand, you have Menashe. He has Gideon is his best guys, and Yehu is his worst guys. Not too bad. They're one next to the other, and stuff like that. So I want you to have the Kishron of Ephraim and the proximity of Yerushalayim to the Tzaddikim of Menashe. That's what I want you to do. You shouldn't be too far away from there. It could be like that. And it could be for using that pshat, then Ephraim is not always before Menashe either. It would depend on who has doing the job that they're doing. Or maybe you can learn that in either pshat, really. Once you live up to your potential, Menashe is doing a better job than Ephraim, so be like, put them first. It's not a din in kedime. It's a din in that you had milas that he doesn't have. So the first. Okay.
Why does he use the lashon v'olav mati Menashe?
What the lashon?
Olav.
Olav is that's the lashon all the time. All of them is olav. Don't ask me what it means. That means that's part of the machne. Okay. Okay, then he went to count. He gives out how they moved. It's not so posh. I can't do it with a picture because you got a problem. It said they traveled the way they rested, or they rested the way they traveled, however you want to put it. So Yehuda is to Mizrach, Reuven Mizrach would be, let's say, here. Reuven would be down there, right? Dan is up there, and Efraim is over there, okay? Now, they have to work it that they go second. So him, east and south is going to be second, and west is going to be third, and north is going to be fourth. How do you do that? You know, how are you traveling? You're traveling in a box. So how are we shaping the box? You're putting it this way, this way, this way. So I guess you can figure out that that's not a big kashi. You can have him who says he has to be in the top part of the north, he's in the bottom part of the north. You can play all those games you want, but to do it. But what do you do when you're going north? And Klaisa went north. So how do you go north? Then, what's his name has to go first? On. You go north. That's the problem. I don't know. So you got to somehow. They always went northwest. Okay, when they came out of Mitzrayim, right? They go northwest. They were going. Then they came out to go northeast. Then southeast. So I'm saying, how are you going to work it? That's one in the first. I guess you can still play games with the box, but that's what you got to do. But that's how they traveled. And then they took the Mishkan was in the middle. First two Pshatim. Okay, and the Moshe and the Kohanim were on the east side of the Mishkan. Okay. Then he wanted to tell them to make holy the Levium. Now he wants to count the Levium, and he's counting them differently than he counted Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael is counted from 20, and Levium are counted from 1 month. And even doing that, they have so many less than Klal Yisrael. So either, like they say, they didn't have the bracha of Shisha B'Kerem Echad, so there's Echad, so therefore you divide by 6, so then they're more populous than the other guys are. You're going to divide by 6. So I can't answer. Okay. Now, we see, I asked this to the kids. It's interesting. I had some kids here the other day. I said, what were your Rebbeim? Oh, your first grade Rebbe, your second grade Rebbe, third grade Rebbe, were the Hasidic guys or Litvish guys? Everyone said the Hasidic guys. Where they got the jobs? So, and it seems that's pretty universal. I mean, whenever I go to a different yeshiva, those are the guys that are taking care of the first grade, second grade, pre-1A, whatever it is. There are guys with the bekishus and everything else there. I don't know what they call it. And when you get to the higher classes, you got the ready guys, the regular guys, but they tell you. Okay. So I said that's the difference in Levi and Yisachar. Levi's counting in a better, right? He's the Ligyan Shel Melech. Okay. What does that mean? When you want to raise a king, you raise him to be a king from the time he's born. You don't start training school later on. You try it when he's a little kid. In other words, this is the way you act, this is the way the things. You're not afraid of anything, you're not doing, and that's the way he acts. And you find that in the part of their personality, and they're not afraid of anybody. That way, they have no havamina, anyone would try to harm them. It's like it's not shot. It's like that. These are my tools. It's not tools against me. Like stuff like that. These are Melech. They're taught from the time they're little kids. You're the Ligyan Shel Melech. You got to be holy. You got to be a good guy. Okay. By the way, one of the ways to be a good guy is midav sitzim lernen echet. Okay? But the ikir zach is I'm doing that. Now let's take Yisocha. I'm picking Yisocha because he's supposed to be the guy, the Torah. He represents Torah. If he represents Torah, how come it says by Moshe Rabbeinu, by Yegel, Kol B'nai Levi, and doesn't say Kol B'nai Yisocha? I mean, what happened with Yisocha? At least one guy was nichshel. So why does that happen? So the idea is, what happened is, by Yisocha they told me Daf Ken Lenin. And by the way, the Daf Ken Lenin, Daf Zanevet Hashem Echet. You know this thing goes. So you have to know that you're learning because the Benishim gave you the Torah. But the Ikaz Daf Lenin, Daf Ken Lenin. Where's God get meshed into there? Somewhere up in the Arya thing there. Well, he said by Levi, you're talking about God all the time. And then you throw in Midav Ken Lenin. Okay. Well, that's one of the ways of doing it. So you have that Bren, or whatever you want to call it. Not telling you Yidiyas HaTorah, telling about the Bren. So therefore they want to give that over to the kids, that Bren supposedly, go to a shtibel. The guys, everyone is jumping around and what do you call it, so we want to give that to the kids. Okay, that's your concept. Okay, what am I going to tell you? Okay, as long as it works. Okay. Anyway, he counts them up and he tells you Yisod over here. Lani hine lokachti es halvi mitoich b'nei Yisrael tachas kol b'chor peter rechem b'nei Yisrael v'yili halviyim. Ki li kol b'chor b'yim hakesi kol b'chor b'eretz Mitzrayim dashli kol b'chor Yisrael madna b'hem. Okay. So first he says the Yisod that the Benish that the b'chor became holy in Mitzrayim. We all know that's not true. How do I know it's not true? First of all, even in Mitzrayim, the Benishim tells Pari, Yisrael b'chori. So therefore, you better watch out. He's my b'chor. So that's the concept of b'chor. Secondly, we find that Yosef and Yaakov were fighting about a b'chor. So there was a yin of b'chor all the way in the beginning. So what do you mean, Kili b'kol b'chor b'yom chesed? All of us, there was no such thing as a b'chor aim until then. B'chor there was. How do I know there was no b'chor aim until then? Because it says by Peretz and Zerach, Zeh Yotzer Rishona. He'll come out first. Doesn't say Zeh Yiyah b'chor. So therefore, since there's the concept of b'chor aim, there's no such thing as b'chor aim. These will be born first. That's it. Okay. So what made something all of a sudden a b'chor aim, a kedusha? Because I made him, and why did I make him? Why did I have to make him? So Rashi has a problem by Marcus B'chayres. It says, "Ein bayish, ein shom mes." So he says, how did it happen that there was no, every house had a b'chor? So you can't say, he says, so either Gadol HaBayis died also, or maybe even a girl in that sense. It's not the b'chor necessarily, Gadol HaBayis. Or, as like I'm timing, what the Benishim did, that the Yechidish things that made that also, was that he gave the Kedusha to B'chor Haim. And the Gish B'chor Haim, so even though she was, what would have been the Kashi? I'm sorry, okay, but what would have been the Kashi? That with Matkas B'chayris happens, and one house you have 10 guys dead, and the other house, and 9 other houses, nobody died. Why would the 10 guys in one house? Because the women were Mazana says with Revachim, with single guys, they married guys they didn't like to live with, just with single guys. And they lived with single guys, so they ended up with their B'chayrim, because they weren't married yet, so they got the Chayr from this Eish. So she has 10 B'chayrim that are born by her, right? So those 10 kids. Well, so now when when these guys get married to their real wives, then the under end, the second kid is not a bachar, so they don't die. So therefore, the Rebbeinu made it. Okay, so bachar is going to die at least. Okay, so you have another one. Okay, so we have bachar that died. So I was magdish it, so it shouldn't be a lie, but I didn't give it a real kedusha. I gave it a kedusha, like it says in Parshas Boy, that there's a pidyon to it. That they redeem it. It's a kedusha that was only chal that time, and that kedusha is at hayom that we redeem it. We never lost that kedusha, and that's why we keep redeeming it. But it's only redeemable kedusha. How strong a kedusha is that? That's a kedusha leviyah. So when the Rebbeinu Shalom is now exchanging the B'chayrim for the Leviim are getting a Kedusha. The Kedusha that Veda should have to make them holy, because without making them holy, there's no Din B'char here. I'm not killing them. Why am I killing them? Because they're holy. As it says there, Ki liko b'chor b'yom hadkosi ko b'chor b'eretz Mitzrayim hikdashti liko b'chor. I made them all holy to me. And at that time, when I killed all the b'chorim in Mitzrayim, I made the b'chor ha'ems holy to me. So therefore, not the holy. That kedusha is kedusha's leviyah, and that kedusha within there. So now, when you have this medrash and everybody think that the losid lavoi, the b'chorim will serve in the Beis Hamikdash. Who are we talking about? According to what I just said, it's Pashut about Leviim, not the B'chayim, not the Charovs. Charovs, we did our Veda Zorah. Get out of here. You guys are puzzled. Wait, no, we don't want to talk to you guys. The only one is B'chayim. What do you call it? And you'll say, well, the B'chayim Haims also did a chet and something. I wasn't magdish them until Mitzrayim. And the Egel happened 3 months after they went out of Mitzrayim. So I don't think they were old enough yet to be able in their way over there to say that they did it. But the B'chor Ravs, which had Kedusha already before them, they were puzzled. So they messed it up. Okay, so that would be the simple thing. And then, but somehow the Mefarshim just B'chor, it doesn't make a difference to them. B'chor Rav, B'chor Rav, it's all B'chor. And they're not. There's definitely two different types of b'chayrim and two different types of kedusha. And it gives you all the different what do you call it, the different mishpachas here and so on, and why and you mentioned Elitzofim ben what's his name, that because of him we had Kairach, whatever it is there. Okay, and then it tells you what the jobs are. No. Yeah. Then he said we have to count the b'chayrim. Okay, I don't know how they worked it out, the actual payment. You know, there was 293 b'chayrim over the count of the Leviim. Now, the Leviim were not exactly 22,000. He does, even though it says Kol Zochim Achoyish L'mal Shneim Shlitas Samolav, that they had that's why they have 293. Said because their own b'chayrim they also had to redeem. If he cares up the numbers, I think he'll end up with a different number. Okay. Yeshu Shleisel, let's see. There you go. Now let's see, here's the country. How much?
Rashi's in Pasuk Lamed Tes.
Huh?
Rashi's in Pasuk
Lamed Tes. Okay, I'm saying that's the thing, because they had their own, they had to redeem. Okay. So they redeemed their own. And then there was extra, the guys. Which guy's going to pay the $5? I mean, why did I get stuck paying $5? Why not you? I mean, It's $293, $22,000 getting away with it. $293 you have to pay. We all chipping in on for the $293, or Chedis, you're stuck. I don't know how it works. I don't know. Like they throw a gyro, then they throw a gyro. Huh?
Rashi brings down the girl.
Huh?
Rashi brings the girl.
He said ready to go. Rashi. He says it says so, and it's a girl. Okay. It's a Gemara.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So what do you say? It's a Gemara.
Yeah. It's
They made a girl, so that makes sense. Okay. So made a girl who ended up. Okay. And now, why did you pay 5 girls? Why did you pay this money? Because Ben Shem said so. Okay, that's the simplest reason. But Lamaisa, does it work for Ahrchen? Because that's the price of a little kid, a little boy. Until 20 is $5, right? Or is it because they sold Yosef for $20? Right? So the thing is because we always know it because they sold Yosef. So why do you know it because they sold Yosef? Maybe because of Ahrchen. Because you think then that you would have to play games. Let's say a guy wasn't lived there when he was a kid. Now 35 years old. Does he have to pay $50 instead of 5? Because now I'm being paid there now. Or the chayv was chal when he was a month old, so therefore that doesn't change. It's still only a 5, you know. I can't make it. I don't know if you want to play, so I'm saying. But I make enough cheshbein, I said in the book over there, that it comes out that that's why he goes to Yosef, because if he went with Ahrchen, there'd be too many problems that would come out that would either change the monies or whatever it is there. But I think that. Yeah, then he goes into talking about the covering when they talk about giving the avodah to Bnei Kahos, since they had avodah hakodesh aleim. So he has a problem. They may come to touch it. So there's a stira in the psukim. It says in the pasuk Tezayin, it says that after Aaron they finished, they should cover it. The thing there. Because v'achei ken yavoyu b'nei kahos lo says to count lo yigu, and they won't touch it and die, right? So it seems that they're going to die by touching it. The last pasuk in the Seder says v'lo yoyu lirais, they won't see it and they won't die. So you die by seeing it already. So you don't have to die by touching it. So why? I don't remember my teretz, and I think my teretz is better than the teretz of Gabi, of Gabriel, Afrim, but I'm going to give you his teretz because I don't remember mine. I'm just trying to find a guy in the class at the time when I said it. So why don't you sit down and think about it again? Maybe you'll hit the cheshbon. It doesn't work that way somehow. You know, you gave a teretz one time. I got to find that teretz. I think though, case I don't know. But he learned it like this. He says, the seeing of it will give you the ability to touch it. He says, I give the most to a caterer, he gave it in the furniture store. It doesn't make a difference. But you go into a chassan hall before they set up, right? Looks like a pretty big mess, right? Your tables, if you look at the tables, before they put the tablecloths on, they're all chipped, they're all broken. They're not even a nice table there, you know. They put a nice tablecloth on it, all of a sudden it's white and it's gorgeous. And you put the dishes on and you put this thing. So before you do it, it has no tzula, right? So the person is, if he sees it after it's taken apart, Kolzman, that's why he gave it with a furniture store. You walk into a furniture store, but pick out the couch you want. There's got 40 couches over there, you know. And yet sometimes a department store will have a bunch of them, and then they have certain setups of certain groups. Why do they pick those groups as the setups? Because it has to give something that will help you with it. So therefore they put it that way. So what gives it the feeling that it's, what is it? is the fact the way if it's put in a choshev position, that's choshev. If it's not in a choshev position, it's gonit. So if you see it as they're moving, not in the way that we're supposed to be in the Mishkan, you're seeing a stick here and a stickle here and a stickle here. So then, like, you don't see the kedusha in it. So you walk over there, you touch it. So, I mean, I say it makes sense, but somehow something more help. Okay, okay. So we should have that part I didn't tell you. Why the Bamidbar is always before Shavuos. So that thing will end with it. So why Takia is Bamidbar before Shavuos? What does it have to do with Shavuos? And it's a vort in Yiddish that you mitzel and you mekabel. And in the Yankevendum Siddur, it's brought down that way. So you have to count and then be mekabel the Torah. What is the counting? It's got to do with being mekabel the Torah. So the Shiva explained it once to say like this, that a person, when you're counting Moshe Rabbeinu is one, and you're one. You're equal to Moshe Rabbeinu. You're not equal to Moshe Rabbeinu. You have no shaykhs to Moshe Rabbeinu. So what do you mean I'm one? So meaning I'm one is the pshat is that I have the Torah was given to me also, and I can reach my potential. That's the Yikah, to tell you that. So if we reach potential, just like Aharon and Moshe, sometimes Aharon is first, sometimes Moshe is first. It's only one place in Va'era. That Rashi, but he says they're why? To show you they're both equal. What do you mean they're both equal? They're not equal, except that they both reach their potential. That makes them equal. So therefore, us, we only have the keiches that the Benshim gave us. Moshe Rabbeinu is bigger than us only because Benshim gave him the extra keiches. But the keiches he gave us is enough to make up the Torah and do the Torah. And therefore, on this day, you can go and become who you could become. And that's all you're chayiv to do. And there's they count, know who you are, know what your Torah is standing for, know what your chelik in Torah is. Now you can go be makabel the Torah. And it says, Hashem, we shall be zeichel, l'nemes kabbalas the Torah, and may it be made. Good Shabbos, everybody.